So let's start, I think, by talking a little bit about culture, because that's one of the areas that we talk about a lot on our podcast is the importance of culture. So from a leadership standpoint, Brandy, what is your philosophy and what are your beliefs about the responsibility as a leader with the culture within an organization or a group?
Okay, so there's a few things that I would love to touch base on when we're looking at how do we know how to be a good leader to create a good, positive culture. The first there's so many layers to this, but the first one would be to know your role. Know your role, which means what are your jobs? What is your job? What is your task? What are your responsibilities? What are you control of? And then what is everybody else's role? What is their role? What is their job? What is their task? What are their responsibilities? And by separating and acknowledging that everybody has a role, we also want to make sure that you don't micromanage. You train effectively, but you do not micromanage. We want to allow everyone to learn how to perfect their job. If we allow everyone to perfect their job, we give them the opportunity to be competent and create inner confidence because it's something that they know they understood how to do well and how to train themselves, and we need to support them along the way, but we need to do it within our own job, our own tasks, our own responsibilities, and we need to really allow everybody to shine as much as possible. The second part is we want to be great mirrors, and what I mean by that is we want to do and say what we want them to see and do, which means we are abiding by our own levels of standards of work performance, of following through with our commitments, which also means um, following our own work schedule, taking breaks, um, having a good attitude, perfecting our own work ethic, staying motivated, loving our workplace. When we demonstrate that, we show them that we have a lot of responsibilities, but we're capable of upholding this considerate, have fun, be disciplined atmosphere. Because as a leader who's taken on all of these different things, if I can do it, you can do it. The next thing that we also want to understand is that there's a lot of people who come into the workplace, and we want to refrain from providing too much hope ahead of time. So, this is what I call interview prove. When we're hiring new employees, a lot of times we get really excited because we're like, wow, this person has an amazing resume. I love the connection I had with this person. But you have to keep in mind that the person that you're interviewing or someone's interviewing is trying to sell themselves to get the job. And they can talk, but can they walk the walk? So it's really important to make sure that you have a probation period, that you honor that probation period, that you let them know that we're going to see how you do for, let's say, 3 months. We're going to see how you do for 3 months, and we'll see if this is something that, where we can really fit you in and see what's the next step for us. But do not promise giving them a raise. Do not promise giving them a raise during the probation period or even after the probation period. Do not imply that they're going to get a raise, whether it's monetary or position, after the probation period to hold on to them. We want to train them efficiently, and then we want to let them prove themselves with all the things that they said that they could do in the interview through their personality, their actions, and their commitment. And if we could do those three things, then we are truly demonstrating a culture that we're breeding because it's something that we love, it's something that we want, and it's something that we're trying to perpetuate.
That's a great answer. I like that. And like you said, there's so many components to it, as you talked about when you first started that. There's so many layers, right? And as you work
Yes.
your way through it. So a quote that I just thought of, and one of the people that I happen to follow and appreciate some of his leadership styles, and that's Gary Vaynerchuk, right? And so Gary Vee has this statement where he says, when he talks about hiring his people, he says, hire fast, fire faster, and promote fastest, which is a very
Mhm.
interesting philosophy, but that's what he believes in. So don't take all this time, whittling around trying to figure out who the right person is to hire. Hire them quickly, give them an opportunity, as you said, to prove who they are and what it is that they can bring to the table. And if they're not performing, make the decision to have to, part ways and make that determination fairly quickly, because that helps your organization. But then the flip side of that is if they over deliver more than what you expected, reward them by promoting them fast too, because he says those are the people who are going to drive your business forward. So I think those are key components as leaders to be mindful of and have your eyes open and looking forward to that.